Borderlands, new video game adaptation film that just hit theaters this past weekend. The movie is directed by Eli Roth. Also, Roth is the screenplay writer for the movie as well. The film stars Cate Blanchett as Lilith, a bounty hunter asked to find the daughter of Atlas, played by Edgar Ramirez, in order to protect her from the crime in Pandora. The daughter is played by Ariana Greenblatt, who plays Tiny Tina. But along the way, they realize that she could be the key to a vault on Pandora that unlocks the powers of the universe. And along the way, Lilith and Tiny Tina meet Roland, played by Kevin Hart, Tanis, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, and Krieg, played by Florian Martino. Also, Jack Black voices a robot called Claptrap, who is Lilith's robot assistant. The film is an hour and 42 minutes and is PG-13. Welcome back to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Denenberg. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. We're up to 230 subscribers. Let's get to 250 subscribers as quickly as possible by hitting that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do movie and TV show reviews, out-of-theater reactions, box office show every single Tuesday, and movie franchise rankings every week. So please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. Comment down below. First of all, have you seen the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Also, have you played the Borderlands games? Did it live up to the hype? Did it not live up to the hype? Could this IP be done better in movies or shows, or is it just only good as a video game? Let me know in the comment section down below. Or did the low Rotten Tomatoes score make you not want to go see this movie? Let me know your thoughts. Also, please like the video, guys. The thumbs up button down below. Please smash that like button. The more you guys like the videos, the more my videos get recommended to more people. So please hit that like button. So I obviously saw this movie on Monday. I didn't have time due to weather purposes to go see the movie over the weekend or Friday. So I saw the whole heat of storm of reviews and scores from people. Didn't watch any reviews. I don't like watching or even reading people's reviews until I see a movie. I try to go as blind as I can, but I was definitely knew that this movie was getting pretty much crapped on by a lot of people. So I did want to see the movie for myself. I like the actors a lot. I think video game movies have become a popular again, which I really enjoyed. So let's get my thoughts on Borderlands. And I'm going to shoot you straight, everyone. If you saw my out-of-theater reaction, you know what I'm going to say here at the beginning. This movie is really bad. And I didn't find myself enjoying myself whatsoever in this theater. Video game movies and shows have been doing very well over the last 5 to 6 years. And this movie feels like a video game adaptation that you would have gotten in the early 2000s, where Hollywood just didn't get the point or the purpose of adapting a video game. Because back in the early 2000s, very similar to comic books, but really video game movies back in the early 2000s, even the late 90s, Hollywood was just trying to find IPs and just kind of exploit them, especially video game adaptations. We have an cool IP, but let's put our own spin on it. And fans turned on video game adaptation movies and those creators. And we've come to a point now where they're actually pretty good now. You've had a couple Sonic movies. The Super Mario Brothers movies did $8 billion. You have Last of Us on HBO. You have a really good renaissance here, even Detective Pikachu, a renaissance of video game IP adaptations that have done very well. Please the fans, please audience members. And again, I have not played or even seen anything about the Borderlands video games, but you can just tell that something is off with this movie. There are so many miscalculations on so many levels in this movie. And I can say that without even seeing or playing the game. And I felt bad in the audience watching the movie, thinking to myself, I think this is awful. I can't even imagine what a diehard Borderlands fan would think of this movie, other than either feeling disrespected or offended or anything like that. This ensemble is, on paper, fantastic. You have some of the greatest actors of all time with Cate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis. Ariana Greenblatt has really put her foot down in Hollywood. She's been really good in a couple of projects. You have an action set pieces, a new world. You have Jack Black, who I also really like. But again, for people who also don't know, this movie had a very troubled production. This movie was finished shooting in June of 2021. 3 years ago, this movie was done filming, and they went back last year. Again, Eli Roth directed that whole movie. And then last year, they did 2 weeks of reshoots with director Tim Miller to try to fix whatever they thought was so bad about the movie. And it still turned out to be this bad. It just seemed like a movie that just couldn't be saved. And it's weird because, as I said, there's so many miscalculations here. First, with the cast, there are so many miscastings in this movie. And what helps with that is that the cast just doesn't have any chemistry with each other. There's a point where you kind of think, okay, the Kevin Hart, the dynamic with Ariana Greenblatt will go somewhere. That really doesn't go anywhere. You have some really annoying characters. Jack Black's robot character is one of the most annoying characters I've seen in a movie like this in a really long time, like really long time. I don't really get annoyed a lot by characters, but this character was so annoying. All of the jokes were bad. They went for the same bits over and over again. And I am someone who loves Jack Black. I think Jack Black is one of my favorite comedic actors of my lifetime. And when I don't find him that funny or annoying, that's a bad thing. His character felt like every time there was going to be a low moment, or maybe sometimes again to the story or something serious was going on, his character comes in and does this one bit, and it's not funny. I like Cate Blanchett. She can't give a bad performance, but is she well cast here? No. They probably should have found. I'm not saying they have to find an actor who just wants to have a fun time, but you need an actor who is. I was struggling to think of the word for this. I didn't feel Cate Blanchett fit this role very well. I really didn't think. I thought Kevin Hart was probably the most miscast out of the main cast because his character, like, also, first of all, just disappears in big chunks of the movie. Sometimes you forget why he's even in the movie. After the opening scene, his character felt so meaningless for the rest of the movie, but also his character is not supposed to be telling jokes, and his character doesn't tell jokes. And as I said earlier in a movie called Left from, I think it was earlier this year, I'm cool with doing Kevin Hart serious, but that character also felt like it needed a little bit more momentum and oomph to it. And I just feel like Kevin Hart was, if they wanted to cast Kevin Hart, well, cast him as a character who's cracking jokes a little bit. But this character was so boring, so forgettable, so mediocre. And that's usually not Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart's usually playing very over the top of, really, I'm a big Kevin Hart fan, really funny characters that are entertaining, not boring to watch. Here, he just felt like he was stuck in mediocrity with that character. That it's again, not the fault of the actor. The character was so mute throughout the entire movie. Ariana Greenblatt's fine. The cast itself is, again, watchable because I like the cast a lot. I don't know what they're doing in this movie. The CGI and the effects are straight out of the early 2000s. I compared it to Spy Kids. Sometimes there are scenes, like there's a moment where they're trying to stay balanced over this like green goo thing, and it felt like right out of a Spy Kids movie. The CGI, the fact that they held on this movie for 3 years and still didn't want to make the CGI effects look and the visual effects look any better was weird. I didn't care about the characters. I didn't care about what was going on. The least it could do is have fun action set pieces. But as I said, the movies didn't feel believable whatsoever what was going on. You didn't feel there were any stakes because the issues that the characters were in, they got themselves out of it so easily in this movie. And as I said, the movie's an hour and 42 minutes. And it just rushes through every single thing, where it feels like the only times where the movie has dialogue in it is exposition. It doesn't feel like we have any like great character moments. It feels like every time a character is speaking, they're giving exposition. And it's done in the laziest way in the first act of the movie, where every little thing is monologue to us and voiceover by Cate Blanchett as Lilith, to a point where we see Cate Blanchett, Lilith, get out of a car, talk to a group of kids, but instead of hearing the conversation, the whole conversation is rushed to us via voiceover on what is said. Like, I like voiceover, but not like that. So I didn't have fun with this movie. The least I wanted to have is just dumb fun with this movie, but I didn't care about the cast of characters. A lot of the actors were woefully miscast in the movie. There's no stakes really, you feel. It just feels like a weird idea where the creators just didn't have the creators and the studio just didn't have a real passion for this IP. And it just feels sometimes gross to watch when you see an IP that even I don't care about, but you can understand why people care about it is getting this type of treatment to it. So hopefully Hollywood can finally learn its lesson on what not to do with people's IP. So overall, I'm going to give Borderlands a 0.5 out of 5, 15% for Borderlands. What are your thoughts? It's one of my least favorite movies of the year, easily one of the worst movies I've seen this year. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys soon.